We've officially seen trained astronauts and billionaires go up to space. But what about the rest of us? Well, SpaceX is set to make history again. This time with its Inspiration 4 mission launching the first all-civilian crew to orbit, marking the first step in a brand new chapter of human spaceflight.
So Inspiration 4 is about advancing humans in space and what that looks like and bringing all of humanity along with us. I never imagined that I would be part of the first all-civilian crew to orbit and that I'm going to be the first Black female pilot of a spacecraft.
And that's far from the only first the mission hopes to achieve. Inspiration 4 will be SpaceX's first free flight of its Dragon capsule, meaning it won't dock to the ISS. And unlike Virgin Galactic or Blue Origin's launches, Inspiration 4 will be headed up much higher than Branson and Bezos to an altitude of roughly 579 kilometers above Earth. So who exactly is headed up there? The first crew member is mission benefactor Jared Isaacman. He'll be the commander on board the Dragon capsule, issuing orders and managing communications with ground controllers. Dr. Cyan Proctor is a geologist and was a finalist in NASA's 2009 astronaut program. For Inspiration 4, she'll be the mission's pilot and will be trained to take over in emergency situations. Then there's Haley Arsenault, a childhood cancer survivor who will be joining as the mission's medical officer. She'll also be making history as the first to fly with a prosthesis and as the youngest American to reach space. And lastly, Chris Zimbrowski, a Lockheed engineer, will be the payload specialist responsible for doing the experiments and managing the onboard cargo. Since being named back in February 2021, the crew has been through an intensive training process. Usually NASA astronauts take roughly 2 years to train for their missions. But for the Inspiration 4 crew, that window was shrunk from April to September 2021.
I have been working really hard along with the rest of my crew members to get prepared for this historic flight. So I'm learning a lot about systems engineering and how everything works for the Dragon spacecraft.
Training started with trips to a human centrifuge, which tests pilots and astronauts' ability to withstand the gravitational forces they'll experience during flight. To get a taste of this reality, SpaceX engineers plugged in data from previous space flights to help simulate a Dragon ride during launch, re-entry, and splashdown. During those phases, the crew can experience anything from 4 to 6 Gs. The crew also hiked up the majority of Mount Rainier as part of a team-building exercise to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. On top of all of this, there were hours and hours of in-person training at the SpaceX facility to spend time in the simulator and learn about the Dragon capsule.
Our Dragon has some modifications. So first of all, when the nose cone opens, it normally will dock to the ISS through the forward hatch, but that is going to be replaced with a beautiful cupola here. So we'll still have the forward hatch that we'll have to open to access the cupola, but we'll have this beautiful glass dome that we can look back on Earth with.
As for launch day, the flight is expected to lift off on September 15th on a flight-proven SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. And like the rocket, they'll be flying in a flight-proven Dragon capsule Resilience. After liftoff, the team will spend roughly 3 days free-floating in orbit, where they'll participate in a number of scientific experiments.
On orbit, we'll be doing microbial swabs and things like that so that we can advance science. And the reason why is because we're going to be further out from the Earth than any humans have been since Hubble was last serviced. So that was a while ago. And so we're going to be well above the International Space Station. So it's a different radiation profile.
They'll be sharing their results with the same research team who conducted the twin study on astronauts Mark and Scott Kelly back in 2019. Inspiration 4 is going to be historic for many reasons, but it also marks a new era for spaceflight, where ordinary civilians like you or me could one day head up to space. I mean, there's still the issue of the current prices of launch costing thousands and even millions of dollars. But Inspiration 4 is a small step toward making space a little more accessible than it's ever been before.
The future of human spaceflight is transforming rapidly right now before our eyes. And the opportunity for people just like you to go on these magical journeys to space and maybe even to the moon and beyond to Mars is a reality. And we're building that future right now. And together, if we're thoughtful, we can create a Jedi space, a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space for all of humanity.
To learn more about SpaceX Dragon capsule, check out our Countdown to Launch episode here. Is there another rocket launch that you'd like to see us cover? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.